Saudi Arabia just crossed a line no country has crossed before. They're not updating a city, they're reinventing the idea of one. Towers pushing past the horizon, desert climates reshaped by design, a new industrial world rising from the Red Sea. And the startling part, it's already being built. This isn't a vision on paper. It's one of the boldest transformations attempted in the modern era. So let's start with the project that rewrites the rules of urban life, the Line. A 170-kilometer, mirror-covered megastructure slicing straight through the desert. No roads, no cars, just high-speed transit and AI-powered systems connecting everything in minutes. Designed to house 9 million people, all stacked vertically, living in a zero-emissions environment. Open your door, schools, parks, markets, workspaces, all within a 5-minute walk. Nature above, transit below, full renewable energy. One subtle but important detail, this stacked city concept flips the traditional logic of urban sprawl. Instead of a city growing outward, it grows upward and inward, compressing distances and eliminating commutes. Urban planners have been debating vertical urbanism for decades, but no one has ever tried it at continental scale. If this were in the US, it would be compared to building a vertical Manhattan and stretching it from New York to Philadelphia. But here, it's just phase 1. And construction has started. But so have the reality checks. Originally planned to reach 170 kilometers and house 9 million residents by 2045, reports now suggest only 2.4 kilometers may be completed by 2030. That's less than 2% of the original target. Yet even this scaled-down starting point holds geopolitical weight. If Saudi Arabia demonstrates that a fully automated vertical city works, even at 2.4 kilometers, it sets a template others could adopt. Japan, Singapore, and South Korea are already studying hyperdense vertical districts. The Line might become a global export, even if the full 170 kilometers never materialize. The reasons are predictable at this altitude: massive engineering challenges, runaway costs, and the logistical difficulty of building something the world has never attempted. Even so, the 2.4 kilometer zone is unlike anything on Earth. In the hidden marina zone, 4 major modules, 45, 46, 47, and 48, are under construction. Module 45 leads, with foundations and above-ground structures already rising. Module 46 follows with more than 5,500 piles driven into the ground using low-carbon concrete, part of the largest pile-driving operation on the planet. For comparison, that's more piles than the entire New York Hudson Yards project, multiplied several times. This kind of module-by-module strategy mirrors aerospace manufacturing more than traditional city building. Each module acts like a self-contained production node. When one slows, the others continue. A design choice intended to prevent the entire megastructure from bottlenecking. Automation, GPS-guided machinery, and smart drilling fluids are pushing precision construction at industrial speed. Module 47 is still deep in excavation. Module 48 is nearly prepared, though behind schedule. Cranes and trucks notably absent. Below all of this, the world's largest dewatering system runs non-stop over 500 wells. Thousands of sensors. Water moved continuously to stabilize the site. Inside the spine, tunnel boring machines are carving the path for the high-speed electric rail that will run the line's full length. Meanwhile, solar fields, wind installations, and the world's largest green hydrogen plant inside the Oxagon zone expand the project's renewable backbone. This thing is happening, just not as fast as the render promised. But Saudi Arabia isn't slowing down. They're doubling the portfolio. Right in the center of Riyadh, another giant takes shape. King Salman Park, the largest urban park project on Earth. But inside the 16-square-kilometer green sanctuary sits the Royal Arts Complex, a cultural megastructure covering more than 500,000 square meters. Parks of this scale often take decades to mature. But here, the speed of construction means the city is building both the cultural infrastructure and the natural canopy simultaneously. Urban ecologists call this compressed maturity, an attempt to accelerate what usually takes an entire generation to grow. Designed by Ricardo Bofill, it blends Saudi heritage with modern design. The centerpiece, a 106-meter pyramid-shaped museum set to anchor the skyline. Nearby, artist studios, a cultural institute with a 600-seat auditorium, and a futuristic dome for showcasing Saudi talent construction is visible across the site. Steel frames rising, cranes surrounding the future museum, groundwork shaping the dome and theater utility networks, roads and landscaping already in progress. Even the visitor pavilion appears nearly complete. Next, the National Theater, one of the largest in the region, with a 2,300-seat main hall, a 650-seat secondary hall, and 3 cinema theaters, all part of a green megaproject aiming to plant over 1 million trees and turn Riyadh into one of the world's most livable cities. Then comes the Mukab, the cube, a 400-meter-tall, 400-meter-wide, 400-meter-deep hyperstructure capable of fitting 20 Empire State Buildings inside. Not metaphorically. Literally, if completed, it would become one of the most visually dominant structures on Earth. Urban theorists already debate the psychological effects of such a monolith. How a cubic horizon reshapes the visual identity of a capital city. It's a city in a cube. Digital environments, floating platforms, futuristic streets, alternate realities, all inside one massive volume. The Mukab anchor's New Murabba, a new downtown district reimagining urban living excavation, is already 86% complete. 10 million cubic meters of earth moved. A temporary bridge under construction expected to eliminate 800,000 truck movements on public roads. Actual construction of the cube, however, remains slow. Completion is officially set for 2030, though experts question the timeline. Early targets have already slipped. If that sounds extreme, wait for the next one. This is not just a theme park, it's an entire entertainment-driven city. Qiddiya, a 360-square-kilometer district outside Riyadh with theme parks, arenas, gaming hubs, sports facilities, residential zones, and schools. Qiddiya highlights a strategic shift. Saudi Arabia wants to diversify tourism beyond pilgrimages and business travel, targeting the same global entertainment market dominated by Orlando, Tokyo, and Dubai. For decades, the Gulf focused on financial and infrastructural megaprojects. Qiddiya signals a cultural turn, and progress is fast. Qiddiya officials say the project is 89% complete. Aqua Arabia Water Park is at 84%. Golf courses 77%. Roads, bridges, and tunnels installed. The Gateway Arch, inspired by the Tuwaiq Mountains, nearly finished. The Prince Mohammed bin Salman Stadium rising on the cliffs at 200 meters above sea level. Seating capacity, 46,000. Construction underway. And at the core, Six Flags Qiddiya, the first Six Flags outside North America. Its crown jewel, Falcon's Flight, now fully installed. The tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster ever built. A 200-meter cliff dive. Speeds reaching 250 kilometers per hour. A train engineered to survive desert heat with aerodynamic cooling and windshield-style covers so riders don't need goggles. For coaster fans, this is the equivalent of putting all of Orlando's top attractions on a single track. Next to it, a GCI wooden coaster, described as the most intense ever built, an Intamin multi-launch coaster, a hyper-tilt coaster, a More Rides launch coaster. The density here rivals entire U.S. amusement clusters. Aquaria, the water park, escalates even further. 22 attractions, the world's tallest water coaster, the largest drop slide, and the first underwater ride using submersible vehicles. Qiddiya's motorsport district emerges with a Grand Prix circuit designed by F1 legends. 21 turns, a 108-meter elevation change, a candidate for future Saudi F1 races. And behind the scenes, Qiddiya is testing something new for the region: operational localization. Instead of importing foreign management for decades, the country is building its own talent pipeline, a quiet but essential piece of long-term economic diversification. Qiddiya isn't just fun, it's workforce training. More than 60 students trained in Orlando in theme park operations. Now part of a 400-person team handling hospitality, HR, food, and attractions. The scale, 48 million annual visitors expected. More than 325,000 jobs. A contribution of 135 billion rials per year. Next, we move to the coast. Oxagon, a high-tech city forming inside Neom, a floating logistics hub near the Suez Canal, one of the busiest sea routes on Earth. Floating industrial cities are rare experiments, usually limited to small research platforms. Here, the model is industrial and commercial, a hybrid blending port automation, renewable energy, and advanced manufacturing. Satellite images show rapid development, especially at Neom's port. Recently, it became the first port in Saudi Arabia to receive fully automated, remote-controlled cranes. The goal for Terminal 1, 1.5 million TEUs by 2026 ISO certification secured. Weekly feeder service with Jeddah launched. A 46,000 square meter temperature-controlled warehouse opened. Oxagon aims for full renewable energy operations and space for 90,000 residents. Oxagon Hive is the first residential zone. Oxagon Village, also progressing with schools, green areas, and smart mobility industrial frameworks, are being built with Bain & Company and the World Economic Forum. Tech innovation includes IBM's robotics orchestration platform and the Oxagon Times McLaren Accelerator program. While much of Neom is still under development, one location is open: Sindalah, Saudi Arabia's first Neom destination, an ultra-luxury Red Sea island. Its opening marked a shift from vision to deliverables. For years, critics have asked whether Neom could produce anything tangible. Sindalah is the first physical answer. It opened October 27, 2024, in a $45 million event hosted by Rob Report, featuring 65 super yachts and guests like Alicia Keys, Katherine Jenkins, and Chris Tucker. Sindalah is still expanding, but the marina, yacht club, golf course, hotels, and restaurants are open. Future plans: 413 hotel rooms, 333 upscale apartments operated by Four Seasons, Marriott, and others, expected thousands of daily visitors by 2028. Where Sindalah brings luxury to the sea, Trojena brings it to the mountains, a high-altitude destination in the Sarawat Mountains, combining design, sports, and year-round adventure. The idea of a year-round ski village in the desert once sounded like science fiction. But Trojena uses controlled microclimates to maintain slopes that operate even in warm seasons. Engineers describe it as thermodynamic choreography, balancing heat, humidity, airflow, and snow texture in one continuous system. The snowmaking system is its core innovation. Fan guns producing chemical-free snow, mimicking natural texture. Over 30 kilometers of ski slopes, planned 26 kilometers running with real snow from December to March. A 2-kilometer slope built on a rooftop. 6.5 kilometers of synthetic dry slopes for off-season skiing. Snow production runs 24/7 under controlled conditions. Each zone features 12-hour storage. A complex piping network distributes snow across the mountain. Construction is rapid. Major excavation. More than 1,000 tons of steel installed on the vertical ski village, a structure requiring 127,000 tons, total equivalent to 18 Eiffel Towers, built in about 18 months. Architectural shapes are visible, tower cranes in place, 2 double-shield tunnel boring machines delivered via Neom Port. Trojena will host the 2029 Asian Winter Games, the first in the Middle East, featuring luxury hotels, wellness resorts, and the Vault, a vertical village embedded in the mountain. By 2030, Trojena expects more than 700,000 annual visitors. The road will be difficult. Timelines may shift. Some ambitions may contract. But one thing is clear. Saudi Arabia isn't just building projects, it's constructing a future no one expected. And it's already under construction.